Hi guys, this is Mac here, and I welcome you all to my YouTube channel, which is called Mac Vlogs. Before I begin this live interview, I would like to add and share a few lines, basically why I was away for the last month or so. I had a tragedy in my family. I lost very important family members of mine. That's why I couldn't be active and I couldn't be live with my guests. So I hope you remember whoever knows about them. I don't want to mention their names who I lost, my dear ones, but please remember them in your prayers because this is really a difficult time which we all are going through because of COVID. Lots of people are losing their loved ones. So I hope everyone is safe and healthy and looking after their family members and all. So let us begin this live interview of mine with a great guest of mine, Samaira Wallani. Why I have got her today to discuss about an important topic which we both were discussing. That was we need to empower the woman in our society, in our country, whether it's in Asia, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, or all the women out there who need to be empowered with this education and a skill so that they can be financially dependent in this world to express themselves. So let us welcome my guest and hear from her what are thoughts and views and what are the great ideas she have and the policies which she feel that can be implemented in our countries so we can uplift the woman who is assets for us. So welcome Samaira. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Roor, and I'm doing really well. First of all, thank you for inviting me on Mac Vlogs. It's very exciting to be here. And before I take this ahead, I want to say that I really pray for the people you lost that they are in a better place and God gives them the highest place in Jannah, inshallah. And well, we can do is pray for them. So definitely, my prayers from my side and my family to you all.
Thank you. Really appreciate your feelings for that.
Thank you.
So
And yeah, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to talk about what I'm very, very passionate about. So I think just a little bit about myself maybe would help you understand how I got onto this journey and why do I talk so much about financial independence and women empowerment. Is I'm born and raised in Dubai, Masroor. I
okay.
did my education there. I studied in the schools there, and then I even started working with Emirates Airlines at a very young age. I was blessed to be able to take up a job with Emirates. Well, situations got me started early, but I think it's a blessing sometimes in disguise. When things happen, they happen for always a better reason. And at the age of 18, I was already independent financially, doing my thing. And I grew up in a very simple middle class family, like we all know, a Muslim family. When we were growing up in school, everybody thought, at least my friends thought, I'd be the first one to get married, settle down, have children, and that's how life is going to be. But I think God has different plans for me. Once I started working, and I think I get this entire concept of being financially independent as a woman from my mother because I have always seen her work really, really hard. My parents worked hard to take care of us, to give us the best. And she just taught me one thing all the time is no matter how well you are doing in life, no matter how amazing your family that you get married into is, how rich they are, you need to always have financial independence as a woman because you never know what happens in life and you shouldn't be depending on people. So that's the mindset I started at a very early age, and that's how it is now, that I've gone on to
Cheer of
making sure
applause for
that.
that. A cheer
Thank you
of
so
applause
much.
for that.
Thank you. I should thank my mom for that thought. And that's how it all started. Yeah. So I started working early, and I took up. I've been blessed with some amazing companies on my list. So I started with Emirates Airlines. I work with Dubai Electricity and Water Authorities. We all know DIVA very well. You're from Dubai, you know how it is. Post which I joined JP Morgan, which is yes. So I have worked with some really great companies, which also somewhere led to the point where I wanted to do something of my own. I always thought that I am not the 9 to 5 person. I cannot just go to work and come back home. I have to do something more, which allows me to empower other people. When you're in a job, it's fantastic. You're working, you have your paid salary, everything is very perfect. You're not worried about the next month. But when you become an entrepreneur, it's a very different ball game altogether. So that's how my journey started. And then 10 years ago, I moved to India, where I was working with JP Morgan. I met my
Mhm.
husband there, and we got married, and then life took a different path altogether. And here I am running my own businesses now. So, yeah, that's a little bit about how my life started.
Okay, I would like to add some things over here. That would be that, as you mentioned about being an entrepreneur, okay, that's what I really feel that I am an entrepreneur as well. That gives me a tremendous what do you call the blessing, I would say, or an achievement in a way that I can uplift the people when you're an entrepreneur, because when you are working 9 to 5, you don't have time for your own self. You're always fulfilling the others' dreams, right? So, but when you're
Right.
an entrepreneur, what happens is you get a different type of positive energy, which really gives you, a direction that, okay. And what happens is, like, as you mentioned, you're an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur, so we have our own wings to fly. So when we are empowering the people, you're giving them to fly. But when you are working under someone, you are totally in a cage. You cannot express yourself because you want a salary. So when you're an entrepreneur, you can make the salary 10 times more or never at all. So it depends what type of professions you bring into the entrepreneurship. It could be different professions. You're into makeup stuff, you're a coach. So that is where the entrepreneurs can decide for themselves what skills they have and how they can acquire that. For example, I'm an advertising and branding specialist. So it doesn't have to be that I join an advertising agency and work for an agency. Why not I become an entrepreneur and start my own agency and start empowering my staff that you can also become an entrepreneur if you have
Right.
certain skill which you can, you know, make your dreams come true.
True. That's true. I think like I said, I've been a little blessed when it comes to companies and jobs where I have always found the right companies and the right mentors. So a lot of what I do today as a businesswoman comes from what I learned in my corporate life. So it all depends, Masroor. If you want to take it as a jail, it will feel like a jail in a job. If you want to
Yeah.
take ownership and you want to be a leader, you can be a leader even in a job. But one of my mentors taught me this: it's okay to start with a job, it's not okay to end with one. And I think that's what happens with entrepreneurship, because you are providing employment, you are helping so many more people to come out and live their life in a better way, because some people may not have the resources to become an entrepreneur, they may not have the investments required, but at least you're helping them in certain ways. So yeah, I think that's a great thought, that it does allow you to become your own boss and it does help you do a lot
Let
more.
us let us focus again on the topic, which is really important for people like uh, for all the ladies, actually, I would say, in Oman, in Dubai, or in Pakistan, or India, Bangladesh. Because what happens is that at the moment in this situation, which is the COVID, right? A lot of people are losing their jobs, and they have a lot of people, because the job market is totally changing. Even if you have a degree, okay, still those people are losing the jobs. But the fact is that if you're an entrepreneur, you're not worried that where is my bread and butter is going to come, if you have a proper direction and a proper planning. Because what I believe that the woman are too good in multitasking. Okay, if they can, if they can take care of their houses and the kitchen and a lot of things they do at home, I believe that in this difficult moment, the women are better entrepreneurs than the men. Right? Okay,
I
this
won't
is
comment on that.
this is the thought process I have. This is a great thought which came to my mind, which I thought that I'm going to definitely be sharing and talking and discussing with you today. That whether it's a poor woman in India or Pakistan or Bangladesh, I'm especially focusing on the Asia, because what happened is the woman does everything, but they are not being uplifted by their men. That if they lose the job, they can just tell them that you're part of my life. So why not you come up, like, if they have a skill, definitely they can contribute in changing the situation of the house, right? The
Right.
people, a lot of people say that, oh, I don't want my woman to work, I'm earning well enough, so I can take care of her. But if you're educated and you're mature enough to accommodate your own woman, you can make her the entrepreneur as well by being at home, and they can contribute in changing our lives. What do you have to say on that?
I agree 100%. And I'm a true example of that, Ms. Rule, because me and my husband were both working. And the makeup industry and the academy was never part of my plan. I always thought I'm going to be working in a corporate job and, I'd probably do something somewhere down the line. But my husband encouraged me, saying that you have a skill, you probably want to polish that, and why don't you take up something and do of your own and build a brand? So I
Mhm.
agree that a lot of people have this thought process, especially our women. They think that if I don't have a lot of money, if I don't have the right resources, I cannot start a business. I truly believe that you can sit in your own kitchen and start a business with minimum amount of money. Probably sometimes the first time you won't even need money, because let's say you like to cook, for example, right? And you want to do a tiffin service. Everything is available in your house. It's about starting with a small dream. It's about starting with a small vision, seeing how it goes, and then make it bigger. So when people tell me that my family doesn't support me, I always say this: that have you had a conversation with them? Have you told them why you want to do this? Have you spoken to them as mature people? Because it's a thing I see with young girls. They want to rebel. They want to fight back and say, "नहीं, आप नहीं चाहते मैं ये करूँ, आप नहीं चाहते मैं बाहर निकलूँ." It's not about that. I think every family only stops a woman because of fear that probably the world is not safe enough. But if you can do this and you
Again,
can show them,
let me add. A lot of men, I'm being a man myself, right? But
right?
I believe that it's not about, you know, the woman working outside in terms of different, but it's more of about the mental aspect.
Yes,
So a lot of people have to change their mental mindset, I would say, that
yes,
if they are allowing their wives, the sisters, their mothers to work, in that way you are allowing them to express themselves.
true.
Because at difficult times, sometimes the men don't know what to do.
True.
I'm ready to accept the fact that sometimes we are totally at loss. We don't know what to do. So our wives and our mothers and the wife and the sisters, they come up with very quick ideas and the great ideas, and that can flourish if you listen to them. A lot of men don't
Absolutely.
listen because of their own ego.
I think it's a two-way process, right? Sometimes it also depends on how we say it. So if I give you an example of my father, I was brought up in a very strict house, and we weren't allowed to really go out and party and have picnics and stayovers. But when he saw me grow up, or when my parents saw me grow up, and the time when it came to take up a job, and I had to sit down and tell them this is what I want to do, and I really am passionate, they understood. It's really a two-way process. It may take time. It may not happen overnight, and they may just not agree to it. But you're right. It has to be somewhere where the communication is clear. And I think the world is changing, Masroor. I'm seeing a lot of. I'm in Hyderabad right now as we speak, and I have seen some amazing women entrepreneurs here who are doing things from home. They're using social media at its best to market their products and talk about it, and it's going to get better is what I feel. And that's how my brand Stylish by Sam started, where I feel that having a skill is something that can help you anywhere, because as a freelance artist you can be sitting in any part of the world and still do your business. You're not stuck to be sitting in an office and having a studio. If you are a makeup artist, if you are someone who can be sitting in America, you could be sitting in India, but still be able to do what you want to do. So a skill is extremely important according to me. Apart from the degrees, of course, education is number one. I would never say no to that. But I also feel as education is not only about degrees, it's about what you learn through your experiences as
This question, which I'm putting across to you now, is really important. And it's going to be like knowledge building for all the women out there. You know, there are three things which we already have mentioned in the topic of ours, right? So I want you to explain in a little briefly so that all the ladies and the women, the young girls who want to look their lives differently, and they can look up to you as an inspiration as well. So that could be the skill. What skills the woman would require? Can you explain that in detail so that they can become entrepreneurs and they can be financially independent? And now, first you can answer that, then I will go on the financial independence, which gives the woman the opportunity in looking after the expenses or how to express themselves in the family, in terms of contributing. So, first
Right.
question, what skills the woman should really acquire? And if
Right.
they're lacking in anything, how that skill can be developed. The first
Right.
question.
That's a great question, Masroor. So, when I talk about skill, I will always say is first look within yourself. What is it that you love doing? There could be multiple things. There could be cooking, there could be tailoring, there could be makeup if that's what you like doing. There could be things like, this is the latest thing I've heard. People are even going ahead and becoming entrepreneurs where they are taking care of your homes, where they come and help you declutter your homes. I have never heard this before. Can you imagine someone who doesn't know how to stack up clothes or someone who doesn't know how to set their homes? I know someone who actually goes ahead and helps people do that. So, first thing is once you find your passion of what you want to do, you need to technically train yourself. So, let me give you an example. I loved makeup always, it was something I'd love doing on myself. But if I choose to make it a career and if I choose to work with people from outside, I need to understand skin. I need to understand because if I mess up, there's a problem. Similarly, if you're into clothing, you need to understand the technicality of how do you cut the material, how do you stitch it. So, thodi bahut technical training is extremely important. So, once you find what your passion is or what is it that you can build, that's when you start going into training yourself. So, people
Okay.
ask me this question: is certification very important? My answer
Hmm.
is yes and no, because it is important to make sure that you're doing the right thing.
Okay.
When you develop a skill, it happens with practice, right? If I learn makeup today, or if I teach makeup today, I cannot expect a student to go out tomorrow and become the best. It's going to be years of practicing the same thing, and that's when she becomes the number one artist. People ask me, how did you become a celebrity artist? I'm like, I did not become a celebrity artist. I just kept doing my job, showing my work, and then things started flowing into my life. People started noticing.
Yeah. Practice,
Yeah.
practice, 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 I would say, right?
Learn first and then practice and learn more. There's never a time that you can stop learning. I've been in the industry for over 8 years now. I still go and do trainings. I still learn myself because it's a changing world. So
You know,
that's one.
before you proceed to the other question, which was about the financial independence for the woman, this question is only for me, okay? And that is, since you mentioned now that you're a celebrity makeup artist, which actresses have you done the makeup and took an honor in doing the makeup on them?
All right. I have been very blessed. In Hyderabad, we have Tollywood, like we have Bollywood in Bombay. I have worked with quite a few actresses like Hiba Patel. I have worked with Payal Rajput. If you Google them later, you'll probably find them. There is Akshara Gowda. I've worked with a lot of Miss India, Shreya Rao, Kamar Varpu. So it's been an extremely amazing
No, no
journey.
one from Bollywood yet? No one from Bollywood yet?
I haven't been, I think I got lucky when I came to Hyderabad. I worked with I'd love to take this name. So I had the opportunity to work with Mr. Prabhu Deva's
The
team.
dimple. The
Uh,
dimple. Okay.
yes, we did work with the street dancers when they had an event. My team went for the makeup and hair. So we met Prabhu Deva, we met Remo Fernandez, we had Salman. It's overwhelming when you meet people like these because they're amazing at what they do and they're extremely humble. So yeah, I worked with a lot of models in Mumbai, and let's see where life takes me after that. Right now, I'm
Okay.
more in Tollywood.
Okay. So now the question again, which you can answer about the financial independence. How do you see that a woman being independent or with the family can express themselves because of the financial independence which they will get by doing any skill? So how do you express that?
Right. So first and foremost, I want to tell a lot of women that financial independence does not give you any overpowering over anybody. A lot of
Okay.
people have this misunderstanding that if I'm financially independent, nobody can say anything to me. Financial independence is to empower yourself so that you are not in a situation where you're asking for money or you're, especially in emergency situation. Like you said, a lot of men have lost their jobs during the COVID situation, and a women step forward and help them out, right? So independence financially means that there is a time if you need the money, you have it, you're not asking anybody. And at the same time, do you know it gives you a lot of knowledge of how to manage money. It's not about just spending money. They say, you give a woman this much, she will spend, she will save, she'll do all of that. But there's a lot of knowledge beyond just financial spending. There is things about understanding taxes. There is things about understanding, what is it that you do in terms of savings, where do you invest your money. So when you start earning your own money, you learn these things. When I was in a job, I wouldn't really understand all this. But once I became an entrepreneur, I needed to understand. And thanks to my husband, he showed me the way of, okay, this is what goes into taxes, this is what goes into savings, and this is how you reinvest in your business. There are so many things that you get to learn because of being financially independent, because that's when it's your money and you have to make sure that go around those areas and learn them too. So for me, it's about earning as well as understanding money. It's not an easy topic though. I still run away from it, but it's a fact.
Do you have any plan in mind that how we can empower the poor woman in villages and in our society where
Right.
you might have seen the domestic workers, right? When they're coming to your homes, they are already being empowered by forcefully by their husbands who don't work at all, right?
Right.
But if we can give them any sort of skill or make
Hmm.
them give any small training, which they can change their own lives and help their houses in a better way, basically. Because I see a lot of people in Pakistan, that they want to do something, but they are not being allowed. So if we empower these poor ladies in a way which is really amazing. It's really going to be great for them to change their lives and have a better future for their own family. What do you have to
Right.
say on that? So, do you have any
Uh,
plan in for them?
it's planned and it's already in action. I'm very proud to say that Imran and me, Imran is my husband. What we have been doing is, since we started our academy and since we started our business, we try and make sure that at least once in a year we offer scholarships. At least once in a year we offer a free training program, and I'm not talking about just a one day workshop, but an entire course where somebody who cannot afford to do it on their own can come and learn from us, and not just learn from us, but stick around, work with us, and start making an income from there. So I think this is, as an entrepreneur, a responsibility of every single business person to do that. It's, of course, we say it's bread and butter. Everything cannot be done free, but we all have that little capacity where we can offer what we have as a learning to somebody who can go ahead and make a better life from there. So we're already doing that over here. It's not a very large scale, but I do have a dream that, inshallah, when it's possible, we will make it much more large scale, and we will try to bring in as many young children, who can get trained with us, work with us, and make a life out of it.
But don't you believe, or do you see that the poor people's mindsets are totally different? First of all, we need to change that to engage them in telling them that whatever we want to give you the training for is for their betterment, basically, because they come up with lots and lots of questions because they don't know and what direction, because they don't have any vision, for their own lives, basically, because they are so poor that they don't understand that their lives can also change. They just always believe in the luck and the duas which anyone
Right.
can give them. But if there is any proper platform where we can just all bring them along by educating them in a way which we all can do by contributing, but we
Yeah.
need to change their mindset to make them realize that they can be also part of this mainstream society.
True. So you're right. There is a mindset everywhere, whichever part of the world, not just Pakistan. It's even in India. But what I've realized is I spend a lot of times around NGOs. I've spent a lot of times around orphanages, and sometimes it surprises me to hear certain children speaking when they have really big dreams. Like, I went to an NGO here where there were girls who said they wanted to become IS officers. There were girls who wanted to become fashion designers, right? So we have to identify the right people and then bring them. What happens is, if you just openly give out your training and say, okay, this is for the people who need it, you may have 100 people come and sign up and join your training, but maybe one out of them will really do something out of it. And some may just take it, oh, it's free, let me just do it. So there is a process of identification which is very important to understand that how far is he able to open up their mind. And unfortunately, I don't call it as a poor or a rich person. I just call it as their environment that they've been has made them that way, right? So sometimes bringing them out, it's tough. It's not easy at all. But yes, educating them is important. Understanding what their vision is, what do they really want in life, and that's when you can really break it down from there and take it.
Being an expert as an entrepreneur, can you just simply stand for a few minutes with any woman and uh, make it out what talent and skill they have, or do you have to go through a process by understanding by talking to them?
I think if I sit them 15, 20 minutes, if I talk to them, I just know what really is going on in the mind. Because, someone who has a vision will always have it. It'll be at the tip of their tongue. If I have a dream, I'll give you a silly example, okay? So when I was growing up, when we would come to India in summer holidays, I'm sure you understand, July, August was summer holidays. I should keep telling my mom that we will travel only Emirates Airlines because my dream was to work with Emirates. Okay.
Okay.
And I always wanted to wear the uniform and I always talked about it continuously. And everybody thought I'm crazy because they're like, how are you going to get a job in the airline? You don't know anybody there. It's not easy to get a job in Emirates. It's the world's best airline. But I repeatedly kept saying that. So every time somebody asked me, what do you want to do? I would say, I'm going to be working for Emirates. And life turned in such a way that it happened in a very smooth way. I didn't have to really work hard for it, alhamdulillah. And that's what I feel, that anybody who has a vision, if it's a woman or a man, you have a conversation and ask them one simple question: what is your dream? What is it that you want to achieve in your life? And if they're able to answer that question in a jiffy, you know that they have something in them.
Before we wrap up today, before we wrap up the interview, I would like you to say a very positive and impactful message out there for all the women in Pakistan, India, Asia, or around the world who are struggling to become entrepreneurs or they don't know what to do. So I'm sure, pretty sure, the message going out by an expert like you definitely we can change the life of a common woman in our society. So please go ahead.
Yeah, so my mantra for success in any field, whether it's makeup or any industry that you want to be in, it's just three simple things I tell people. Number one is educate yourself. Build on your skill, learn what you want to learn, and make sure you're the best at it. No one should be able to beat you at that. Second is be patient. Because what happens is a lot of young girls, they go ahead and they learn something, for example, and they expect overnight results and success. That's never going to happen. You really have to work hard for this. And the third most important thing is never give up. These three things is something I take with me everywhere I go because just the moment that you're going to get successful, you get frustrated because things are not happening. We as women have a habit of thinking, oh, that one's better. She's doing so much better in her life. The minute we stop comparing ourselves to anyone around, life is going to just take its turn. You need to stop comparing yourself with anyone. So, all the women out there, all I want to say is just make sure you stick to becoming a better version of yourself. Doesn't matter who's going how fast, it's your journey. Do your journey at your own pace.
So, all the women out there, what are you waiting for? Come along, watch this live interview. If you have missed it out, definitely you can catch up and watch this in later on. But I'm sure, follow your dreams and learn from Samaira how to become an entrepreneur and change your life overnight if you can. Because this world really needs people like Samaira and the women out there who are doing wonderful jobs. So all the women, don't feel bad about that why you haven't been successful yet because everything takes time. So I'm sure you will definitely be successful soon. So we need to help all our women to be empowered.
And all
So
the men, please support them.
definitely.
Let's
People
not
like
forget
me
the female
are
factor.
always standing with all the women out there who are doing wonderful job. I'm standing with my mom, my sisters. They all are
Mashallah.
like my sisters are working women, and I know a lot of friends of mine, the female friends and their husbands who definitely support and boost their confidence of their wives in the society. So keep
That's
up the
wonderful.
great work you're doing, Samaira. So nice
Thank
of you to take some time out and be a great guest of my and I welcome you again once again for being part of MacVlogs. So
thank
don't
you for
go,
inviting
and I'm
me.
sure I need a positive message from you about MacVlogs so that everyone can subscribe, share, and like, and help me get all the people on my platform with different
Absolutely.
content.
So here's a big shout out for you, Mac Vlogs. Guys, please follow, subscribe, share. I have personally watched a lot of the interviews that you've done, Mac, and I say that you're doing a fabulous job. You are actually bringing the world together and you are letting other people learn from each other, not worrying about boundaries. So great job. I think a round of applause for you for doing that. So guys, follow, share, like, comment, and make sure that if you are someone making a difference, then why not connect with Mac and share your story and share your success.
Small steps, baby steps, make a great dream come true. So that's what I'm trying to do to bring everyone. And I don't want to become a voice for anyone. I want their voices to be heard through my platform. That's why I want to bring everyone. And we can change the lives of common man or a person who doesn't have any proper idea what they want to do. It could be about learning, sharing the knowledge. That's why I try to bring of all professions and all industries because that's the whole idea. Change the life
Right.
of a common man and get the blessings from Allah for doing a great work. Thank you once again, Samaira.
Thank
Keep
you. Thank you
smiling.
for having me.
I'm
Yes.
sure you're already a celebrity, so keep smiling. That looks good. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great
Take
evening.
care.
Bye
So
bye.
everyone,
Take care.
a small message from me. Please go on MacVlogs, press the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you can get the notifications and keep supporting me. That's all I can say. Because basically, I'm just trying my level best to connect this world and make this world a better place to be. Thank you once again. See you in my next show with my upcoming guest with another content and another topic. Thank you so much. Take care and a lovely good evening to all.